Huawei officially released the Huawei Mate 50 series. There are 4 products in this series, namely Huawei Mate 50e, Mate 50, Mate 50 Pro and Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition. Among them, the most concerned is the Huawei Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition, because the price of this product is as high as 12,999 yuan or $1,686. It has almost touched the peak of the price of domestic smartphones. In addition to the high price, the Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition does have unique points of difference. In addition to the well-known Porsche Edition, its lens module has a lot of advantages compared to the Huawei Mate 50 Pro. It can shoot excellent photo and macro lenses. You must be curious about the photo and macro performance of the Huawei Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition. Let's look at the proof together. First, let's take a look at the camera parameters of the Huawei Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition. The Huawei Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition has a triple camera module. The main camera is 50 megapixels photosensitive array, supports optical image stabilization and full pixel optic core focusing, and also has a laser focus sensor and a 10-channel multispectral sensor, supporting 10-speed aperture adjustment. The ultra-wide-angle lens is 13 megapixels, supporting 2.5 centimeters conventional macro shooting. Super macro periscope telephoto uses a 48 megapixel sensor, supports 3.5x optical zoom, and up to 100x digital zoom, has optical image stabilization, and has 35x ultra micro shooting from the screen. Although the main camera of Mate 50 Pro is the same as the Porsche edition of Huawei Mate 50 RS, it is only equipped with a 64 megapixel periscope telephoto camera, which makes it difficult to capture ultra macro images. On the other hand, the macro shooting ability of Huawei Mate 50 RS Porsche edition can be combined with ultra wide angle cropping and telephoto lens, showing the ability of super macro images that are amazing. When shooting regular macro images, the Huawei Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition can be cropped at an ultra-wide angle to ensure image quality. When shooting super macro images, based on the 3.5x telephoto capability, the Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition can shoot to microscope-level macro images. In addition, Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition can achieve up to 35 times super macro shooting, superimposed with dual-lens group long-stroke sliding axis technology. The screen of the mobile phone can be smoothly switched between ultra-wide angle and telephoto macro. From the above picture, the telephoto lens developed by Mate 50 RS Porsche is really good. Whether it is 3.5x zoom, 10x zoom or 100x zoom, it can clearly capture the outline of the object. Carefully observe the proof of 100x zoom. Not only is the white balance of the picture accurate, but also the lines of the line are vivid. From this point of view, the telephoto lens developed by Huawei Mate 50 RS Porsche is indeed not false. There must be many friends who are curious about the performance of the telephoto lens of Huawei Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition and Huawei Mate 50 Pro. In this regard, we let these two phones shoot the same scene. Let's take a look at the comparison of Huawei Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition and Huawei Mate 50 Pro 3.5x zoom. It can be found that both Huawei Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition and Mate 50 Pro accurately reproduce the color of the building. However, when photographing the plants in the foreground, there is a large difference in saturation between the two phones. Among them, the light yellow Huawei Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition is closer to the real scene. In addition, from the perspective of layering, the Huawei Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition is also slightly better, and the plants can be photographed distinctly. At 10x zoom, the Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition and Mate 50 Pro have good control over detail resolution and can accurately restore the lines of buildings. However, the photo of Huawei Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition is reddish, which is quite different from the real scene and is slightly distorted. 100x zoom, the detail resolution performance of Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition and Huawei Mate 50 Pro are still at the same level. But if you look closely at the plaque, Huawei Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition can shoot a deeper blue compared to Mate 50 Pro. The 50 Pro sample has better contrast and is more visually recognizable. The ultra macro telephoto camera developed by Huawei Mate 50 RS, the first dual lens group long stroke sliding axis technology, can bring more flexible focusing distance and more free macro creation space. The most suitable object for macro proofs to be taken by the ultra macro telephoto camera developed by Huawei Mate 50 RS Porsche is naturally a plant. Looking at the three photos above, the Huawei Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition can accurately capture the hairlines of plants, while still ensuring accurate color reproduction. In addition to photographing plants, the ultra macro telephoto camera developed by Huawei Mate 50 RS Porsche can also photograph insects. Looking closely at the image above, you can clearly see the texture of the dragonfly and bee wings. From this, you can also feel the powerful strength of the ultra macro telephoto camera developed by Mate 50 RS Porsche. Another big advantage of the super macro telephoto camera developed by Mate 50 RS Porsche is that it can capture pixels. The picture above is the Huawei Mate 50 Pro screenshot by Huawei Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition, based on high pixel mode. It can be found that the screen of Huawei Mate 50 Pro is arranged in a diamond-like arrangement. The clarity is significantly improved, and the viewing angle is larger, which is consistent with Huawei's official data. After 2 years of polishing, Huawei finally came up with the annual flagship Huawei Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition. It can be found that the telephoto and macro of the Huawei Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition are indeed at the first-class level in the industry. That's not all the good things about the Porsche edition of the Mate 50 RS. The Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition uses glass and uses the industry's first two-color ceramic process to bring an outstanding sense of class. Coupled with the support of Hongming 3.0 system, XMAG image and other configurations, Huawei Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition is undoubtedly a well-deserved king phone in today's Android smartphone industry. If you want to buy an Android all-round phone with outstanding camera ability and comprehensive strength, then don't ignore the Huawei Mate 50 RS Porsche Edition. I hope this video was useful for you. Write your opinion about the camera of the new phone. Have a nice day and see you soon.